Welcome to the Edge Market Update for January 26, 2024, and we continue to see energy markets rise higher as geopolitical tensions continue to escalate in the Middle East. We have the March crude oil contract here, and we closed at $78 a barrel today. We've really seen crude oil rally sharply this week off of that $70 support level that I've mentioned in previous videos, where the Biden administration said they would fill the strategic reserve for oil. And so we crossed above the 50-day moving average middle of this month, and then we yesterday and today crossed back above the 200 long-term moving average and closed at $78 a barrel. So if we do see any weakness down to the $75 to $73 area, maybe still a good time to fill fuel supply needs for the springtime, for any farm diesel you might need, as things are really starting to get strong on the crude oil front. RSI is very high, and momentum is back positive after being negative since the middle of last October. So things are certainly improving on energy. Hopefully that does translate to more positive prices on commodities as well. But as we go to the March corn contract, we are in the middle of a range from that's been declining since October, November of last year. We closed a week at $4.46, right on the 9-day moving average. We did make a lower low this week, which is good in potentially putting in a reversal at some point in trend. And we also made a higher high than last week. So I was happy that we did not make a lower low. That is productive in my opinion. We have the 20-day moving average at 454 for next week. That will act as resistance. Above there is trendline resistance at about the 460 to 465 level. If that is able to break higher, then we have the 50-day moving average at $4.71. I would really like to see us hold this 446 level at the 9-day moving average, or else that could potentially lead to a retest of the 440 or 436 level down below. But we did have some lower volume this week, some selling volume to end the week. We did see prices come back about 6 or 7 cents the past 2 days. Strength indicators, we did initially break out of some negative divergence, but we did come back down to the more oversold reading to end the week. I was hoping we could get back to about the neutral level, about a 50 reading. So a little bit disappointed on that. Money flows are overbought actually in the short term. We've been in such a tight trading range. It didn't take much to get this to an overbought reading on any type of positive price action. So, and typically in the next 3 to 5 days, that typically means we should see some type of a top forming. So if we could get back to this 460 level, maybe be a time where if you still have some old crop grain and you need some cash flow needs, it might be a time to potentially sell something that enough to satisfy those cash flow needs. But long-term momentum, we're still very negative. We are trying to turn a little bit, it looks like, but we're still got a lot of work to do to get back to a neutral reading in the long term on corn. And for soybeans, we did see some negative prices after a nice rally to start the week this week, but we did get news that cash soybeans down in Brazil were trading quite a bit lower after they've really started to ramp up that harvest. Some private estimates were saying the USDA was way overstated on their production estimates for Brazil. But the way cash soybeans have reacted down in that market, it may prove to show that the yield is there down there, and it may be a decent crop. So a lot of time and a lot of crops to get out yet down there, but interesting to say the least. The good thing is that we did not make a new low this week. That was positive, and we made a higher high. Just really wish we would have ended the week on a more positive note. Really, we need to hold that 1201 level next week to prevent any more new lows. But really would like to see us get back above the 1221 area, which is a 9-day moving average, hopefully in short order next week. Above there is the 20-day moving average where we failed this week at 1247. Next week that's sitting at 1243 as of now. And then we have a pretty sharp declining trend line resistance that needs to be taken out. Next week that'll be at about 1255 to 1260. If for some reason we're able to get above there, that could cause a nice spike higher in price, and the 50-day moving average is sitting at 1304. So that would be very welcome if we got that type of move, but we have a ton of work left to do, and we're going to need some more bullish news out of Brazil for us to be able to do that. But we did have some selling volume to end the week. Strength indicators, we initially broke out of that negative divergence formed, but are back to a more oversold reading now again. Money flows also moved quite a bit higher, but the past 2 days dropping about 40 cents a bushel really brought us back down lower. And long-term momentum, we remain in a longer-term downtrend. Got a lot of work to do to even get back to a neutral reading this market, but hopefully this not setting a new low and making a higher high this week was a positive development, and hopefully we see some positive price action and follow through next week on that. With that being said, hope you guys have a great week, and if you have any questions, feel free to call us anytime. Have a great weekend.